as I asked you the first time, we have new viewers here. I would ask you, what would you recommend a group of beings that are extremely energetic, that are the battery and the life of this planet? What would you recommend for us to react in situations like this? How should we respond, my brother, from a metaphysical and energy perspective?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of the things that we need to really observe and be aware of is that, you know, when things like that happen, we really become overly amped because we feel a sense of helplessness and hopelessness. And we don't really know how to change the action and the narrative that creates those kind of situations. And a lot of that happens because we're limited in terms of our perception of the tools that we have at our disposal to operate with. They're not always three-dimensional tools. You know, we can do things that transcend three-dimensional construct and create shifts and changes in
Mm,
the nature of our environment.
mm,
And that's one of the things that Qigong creates. It allows a person to develop a certain level of personal power that allows them to shift and change the narrative and the energetic formula that we're exposed to in 3D.
mm. Ain't got. I think we getting some feedback. Okay, now you good now. You good now. No, definitely, definitely. So, qigong. That's not a 3D exercise. That's beyond this dimension.
The whole purpose of Qigong is to move an individual out of their 3D incarceration into their 4D reality. We're not three-dimensional entities. We're fourth dimensional entities that have been separated, disconnected from our fourth dimensional reality, and forced to live in a three-dimensional prison. And living in this three-dimensional prison, we're limited with respect to what it is we can do, what we can change and shift, and what we can become in terms of how we maximize ourselves and the reality in the environment around us. We live with limitation every
Mhm.
single day. You know, one of the things, I say, if you look up the word artifact, an artifact is something made, of and by human design. That's what it's going to tell you in the dictionary.
Mhm.
Something that's made of and by human design. Now, if you look up the term artificial, artificial is going to say something made in imitation of something else, something not real. Then you have to ask yourself, well, then who really dictates our reality? And what are we with respect to those dictates?
Mm.
Who has created us and what image and program do we follow? Our own or somebody else's? So
Mm.
the nature of Qigong is all about the four, what I call the four basic questions of identity. The first basic question is, who am I?
Mhm.
You know, what values, history, traditions, and cultural paradigms do I recognize, respect, and continue to practice in my daily life? Because you have to have that daily practice to keep you locked in to a deeper, more expansive, higher frequency. The second question: how did I come to be who I am? To what extent do I recognize, appreciate, and understand those social forces and factors that have helped to shape and mold me into the person that I am today? The third basic question of identity is: am I really who I think I am?
Mm.
Am I really who I think I am? To what extent do I have, understand, internalize, employ, and reflect the cultural authenticity of my people? And the last question is: am I all that I ought to be? To what extent do I possess and conscientiously apply the traditionally enduring, energetic, ethical, and spiritual standards and moral code which define and dictate my ever evolving self towards full membership within the human family and my ultimate cosmic purpose? So, those are the four questions of identity that I integrate with the Qigong practice, that the Qigong defines and activates those dynamics within the human frame.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I hope y'all, that was a lot to write down, but I hope y'all rewind this and write that part down. That was amazing. Shout out to everybody in the chat who said they got their tickets, who are getting their tickets. Once again, I pinned it in the chat, so it should be at the top. If you don't see it, you could get it. Click on the link in the description. Once again, the workshop, the Qigong Energy Training Workshop, is this Sunday, May 21st. I want to give a shout out to the brother. Actually, the title of the show, Return of the Last Dragon. We all, if you're a certain age, we remember the movie with Bruce Leroy in The Last Dragon. Shout out to the brother of Rashad Jamal, who before he got arrested. I know that was one of the shows he's supposed to do dealing with that. And I just want to send love and energy, and I ask y'all too also to the brother. May he get the help and the love and energy that he needs. With that being said, um, this Bruce Leroy energy, Wayne Chandler, is it something? Is this an energy that let's say this is a collective energy? We've seen Bruce Leroy and we've seen Shonuff with this energy, with this force, with this chi force, key force, different name, this pranic force. Um, this force doesn't seem to be discriminatory because it went to the good guy and went to the bad guy. So, we got our opposition here in this 3D realm. Does this force also the same force that we use? Is the only way they're able to get their force by being energy vampires through us, or are they able to obtain this force directly?
Anybody can obtain the force. The thing is, what is the intention that underlies the force?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the knowledge base that would even allow somebody to go out and to acquire such a force? And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's absent. The knowledge base to acquire such a force is not there. It's
Mm-hmm.
only there in a small percentage of humanity. So for those who have taken the initiative to literally acquire or begin their journey to acquire the force, then they're completely in a separate, dimensional field than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
As you begin to navigate that other dimensional field, you acquire a level of personal power that allows you to manipulate, redirect, and manifest the elements in your environment to your whim, to your desire, to your intention.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was saying earlier in terms of, you know, in terms of our dictates, you know, who dictates our reality and what are we?
Mm-hmm.
Who are we?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We have no idea who we really are because we're a caricature of the beings whose culture we have been completely and totally assimilated into. Now, it's okay to be in a culture if you're aware of where you stand in that culture, because then at that point, that culture can become a tool, an expenditure that you can use to elevate better and create deeper and better realities for yourself. So you want to be in it, but not of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what becomes imperative. Because we have been absorbed into the culture, we have become the culture. And once you become that, then you have to look at all of the characteristics that that culture imparts to you as a human being.
Mm.
So, what Qigong does, it removes you from that cultural thread, that web, and puts you into a deeper, more cultural, cosmological imprint
Mm.
that allows you to have free expression of your own personal power.
That was amazing that you said that. For the hip hop heads out there, Kendrick Lamar got a new song that's talking about the culture and all the bad things that come with it, and how Wayne Chandler just broke down how qigong frees us from the culture. Wow, that was deep. If you're a fan of Kendrick Lamar and you just heard what Wayne said, you would definitely it's profound. Fam, this is going to be a serious event. Like I said, we can't study our way into this force. We can't read our way into this force. We can't watch YouTube into this force. We have to actually engage in the practices. I told you in the beginning, it's more so the age of discipline than it is the age of information, because the information is all there, but learning how to apply it is one thing. And I can't be appreciative enough for a master teacher like Wayne Chandler to be present to just to guide us through this process. So much that Hank had to come on. Hank said it'd just be an honor for him just to listen. So Hank, you okay there, man? You quiet? You okay there? Oh, his mic is a hold up, Hank. Your mic. You get good, brother. What you say, Hank?
Family, we have a living masters right here tonight on the show. So this isn't Wayne Chandler, and as a mad scientist, I am saying this is our master Wayne. And the reason I say that, if you, whatever your art form is, Qigong amplifies.
Mm,
If you are into music,
mm-hmm,
learning the power of breath, whether it's spoken or through instrument, it's amplified. If you are a athlete, your movements are amplified.
mm,
If you are up and coming, your strength is amplified. And if you are over the age of 40, you will bounce instead of break.
woo,
Everybody can benefit from Qigong, because in order to live in this dominion, you have to breathe. The voltage is in the air,
mm,
family. The current is in our feet. However, with this force, you better start forgiving yourself and everyone else, because you will also speed up your personal karma, just like a muscle car. You want a beast of a being activated within you, then you have to take responsibility, and you can't play the victim card anymore. You have to take full responsibility. Like Ho'oponopono says, you are the God, you are the goddess, and everything you experience intentionally or unintentionally, you created in this lifetime or previous ones. So if you have the audacity, the fortitude to tap into the ocean of breath, then be mature emotionally, physically, because you're going to get your ASS whooped if you're not polished correctly. Master Chandler, am I on point?
That was on point, man. That was so on point.
Oh,
I mean, what was going through my head as you were speaking was, wow, that's real rap. That's real rap.
If you
some
want me to touch on it some more, I'll touch on it some more.
real quick, somebody, yeah, for everybody who I've said this before. If you sign up for the workshop, you have lifetime access to it. So if you miss it on Sunday, you don't have, or Saturday. I'm sorry, on Saturday, you don't have to worry about it. You got lifetime access to it. You could access it at any time. But the brother Wayne is going to be live on Saturday. So you get to see there's a different energy when it's live. So a lot of people like to see things happening while it's live. But no worries if you can't see it live and you have a ticket and you purchase a ticket, you have lifetime access to it. This is something you could pull out 15 years from now. You could pass down to your grandchildren. This is something that's never going to get old. As long as we're here, we have to learn how to utilize energy. We're electromagnetic beings. So definitely. Before I get to the next question, Hank, did you want to elaborate on something before I
Yeah, I
explain?
want to
Yeah,
elaborate on
yeah, brother.
something.
Yeah, brother.
I want to say this. If you are into psychedelics, tantra, reiki, bike riding, or sisters, if you're looking for your true lover and true friend, you want to increase your voltage so that you're just not a flatline. Brothers and sisters, because we have everything angled against us. The only thing we have left, as Baba Lao told me, is our science and our magic. That's the only thing we got left. They're from the mayor's office on down, they're shaking in their boots because the Supreme Court may say, listen, we're going to flip. They might flip. So you have the right to bear arms or concealed weapons in New York City. I don't know what's going to happen, but taking falls on my bike, I will say the little qigong I know caused me to bounce instead of break. And nothing is worse after the age of 40, eating this GMO food, than to take a break because your bone density has diminished. Everybody who rides cars, motorcycles, and bicycles know how important air pressure is. So, in order to be magical in all your venues, you have to master breath. And I see here in the chat, special love shout out to Omi Funke.
All right, all right. Family, once again, I'm gonna be putting a link continuously in the chat. This is the most important workshop I have ever done. Why? Because it goes beyond just knowledge and just studying. It goes beyond intellect. This is something that we're practicing. We're using our mind, body, and our soul. We're using all of our being when it comes to this qigong. This is something that I look forward to. That's gonna transform my life, and I know it will transform your life as well. The next question I want to ask to the brother Wayne Chandler is we obviously, a lot of us know how to, they say where the chi goes, the blood follows. Wherever the chi goes, that's where the blood follows. So when we engage in sex, or we're about to have sex, or even for those who watch porn, we have these thoughts of pleasure. And because we have these thoughts of pleasure, the chi goes down. Let's say for the males, it goes down to the penis, and the blood follows because that's where the chi goes, and your penis becomes erect. Now that's one organ. Now, what about the rest of your organs? If there's an emotion attached to that organ, is there an emotion attached to your kidney, your liver, your heart? Can I have a different emotion if I want to help my kidneys, just like I have emotion of a pleasure to get my penis hard? Is there another emotion attached to each one of these organs that we could tap into, my brother?
Oh yeah, every organ has a different emotional field.
Mm-hmm.
Every one.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, we talk about the lungs because we're talking about, inhaling and bringing greater levels of energy via oxygen, into the body that we
Mm-hmm.
can use in various ways.
Mm-hmm.
But the emotional base, for the lungs, again, is dealing with, on the negative, the downside is dealing with despair, it's dealing, with sadness, it's dealing with grief. On the upside, that upswing is dealing with courage and it's dealing with strength. That's
Mm.
why when you look at superheroes, you see the superheroes always have
Did
a very exaggerated or expanded upper
chest.
body.
Wow. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Okay. They be standing like that. They be like,
Right. Exactly.
oh,
Exactly.
this is yo. I love this. I love it. You don't, Hank, don't they be like they chest out like that?
Yeah, that's what that increases your
Oh,
testosterone too, my
oh,
brothers.
this the come on, family. No, go ahead. Wait, continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead. This is amazing. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
So you look at, like you were talking about, the kidneys, for example. Now, the kidneys, they do feed directly into our sexual power,
Mm-hmm.
and they are the receptacle for the masculine and the feminine gene or energy. They hold both of those within their design. But emotionally, the kidneys also deal with the dynamic of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people that have very weak kidneys, because one of the things that moves through our culture, I mean, like incessantly, that moves through the culture of various levels of fear orientation.
Mm-hmm.
We're afraid of not being able to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
afraid, of not being able to get a job, find work. We're afraid of going down the street, to the corner store, because we may get shot. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we have all kinds of fears that are always encroaching upon us that keep us in a place of fear based limitation. That impacts the kidney in such a profound way that people have very, very weak kidneys. And once the kidney becomes weak, that inflames the entire lower back. And that's why you have so many people with lower back issues, lower back inflammation, because the kidneys have weakened to such an extent that the chakra point that is at the base of the spine becomes compromised. Once it becomes compromised, because it has a working relationship with the kidneys, inflammation begins. Once you have an intense inflammatory condition that takes place in the lower back, then that begins to compromise the disc, compromise the lower spine, and you have a level of discomfort that you have to live with, if you don't know how to get it fixed. And most people don't know how to get it fixed. They want to surgically operate, you know, um, to just remove the discomfort, the pain, and the congestion that you acquire.
Indeed. Hank mentioned a little while ago. Hank mentioned the bones, and could you talk to us about the connection between chi energy and our bones?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, chi energy, there's an entire discipline, which is called bone marrow Nigong.
Bone
And
marrow need.
bone marrow Nigong,
Uh-huh.
and bone marrow Nigong is really part of a component of what is called iron shirt Qigong.
Mm,
And bone marrow Nigong looks and works directly with the skeletal structure in the human body and fortifying the skeletal structure in the human body, because it's basically a huge tuning fork
mm,
that vibrates various levels of frequency that moves into all the organs and glands in the body.
Mhm.
So when you practice bone marrow Qigong, and this is especially important for women, because when you build and invigorate the kidney, one of the things that the kidneys do is they work directly in the formation of marrow in the bones, in the skeletal structure.
Mm.
And with that development of marrow in the skeletal structure, you have the whole blood dynamic that is moving, stabilizing, and expressing itself in various ways throughout the entire system of the human frame.
Mm.
So the kidneys play an imperative role in terms of skeletal structure, fortification, and frequency output.
Mm.
The more you do what's called kidney breathing,
Mhm.
kidney packing, the more, the stronger, the more vibrant, and you can say the more enhanced the frequency of the marrow that is produced via the kidney becomes, which incorporates a stronger, more vibrant, and frequency based skeletal structure.
Mm.
And that's the essence, of basically the entire bone marrow knee gun dynamic. And when you use the bone marrow knee gun, and knee gun is the feminine aspect, qi gun becomes the masculine aspect. Knee gun and qi gun work together to create a holistic framework of like immeasurable levels of empowerment.
Wow.
We can't have one
Without.
without the other. One feeds the other. So it's like the masculine and the feminine coming together in a unified, harmonic condition that creates unlimited power for that individual when they do these practices. So Qigong creates the base energy in the body mind that Nigun will absorb and utilize to shift and create the alternate realities that you project into the world.
Man, I asked my spirit for this is amazing. I asked my spirit for this right here. I'm getting it too, man. This is Hank. You hearing this? You hear this, Hank? You hearing this, brother?
Uh,
I know. Am I
Brother
just bugging
Rich.
out y'all in the chat? Am I bugging out? Am
No,
I
you're
the
not
only one
bugging.
that's floored by this information?
But
Y'all hear this?
I want the family. Brother Rich, could you bring Wayne Chandler's picture to the front? Because his aura is pressed out of the room. And those of you who are conscious, can you see how big this brother's aura is? His aura isn't in the room. So I have to give him, look, y'all, look at his aura. Some of you might see some orbs, but this brother is barely in the room. So, those of you who need to hypnotize, mesmerize in your relationships, or if you want to do out of body travel, this is the energy. Master Wayne, you barely in the room in the chair. You look like you're about to float off unless somebody got you tied to the chair. Because I
I
can see
can't
you,
see
brother.
myself, so I don't know what I'm looking at.
And listen, as people that are at disadvantage in all manners, the Jedi mind trick is real when you load up and pack your organs, tissues, and your bones. You literally create a hypnotic aura about you. Also, gravity is reduced when you do your qigong and that breath work exercise because there's voltage and current in the air. So as I'm looking at Master Wayne, Batman ain't got a candle to this brother right here because his
Woo!
aura is huge,
That's
and I'm
Bruce.
seeing it, and I ain't have no ayahuasca and no shrooms. I can see it right through this laptop.
It's Bruce
Okay,
Leroy
Bruce Leroy on
on
steroids.
steroids.
On steroids, and he got a full head of hair, y'all. Remember, we was talking about semen retention and cultivation.
Mm,
Brother man, if he wanted to, can float with the afro
mm.
because chi packed in the kidneys. That's the one thing we can take with us into the afterlife is our chi. Can't take your bank account, can't take your loved ones. The only thing you can take is that light body that you've been packing throughout your days. So you
Yeah,
can not only mesmerize and hypnotize, but you can move through society so that where you think there's blockages, it only exists in your lack of faith in your own I am. I'm gonna back up because I'm getting excited. I'm just looking at the brother getting high.
No, no, truly, man. The brother's aura is definitely strong. Definitely. The brother ain't even got to talk. He could just sit there and we'll do some learning. Just, you know what I'm saying? Because the aura got information in it. So we could just sit there and stare at the brother and do some learning. Hey, Wayne,
Exactly.
Wayne, let me put the link with for those who just came in, make sure you hit the like button. And we're talking about, we're leading up. This is Qigong Week here at Black Magic 363. Me and the brother Wayne Chandler. Well, the brother Wayne Chandler got a workshop. I'm hosting it. It's going to be amazing. This is probably the most important workshop I have ever done. It goes beyond the intellect. It goes way beyond the intellect. It goes way beyond logic. It goes way beyond the third dimension. Extremely important in this time, family. You all need to sign up for this Saturday's workshop. It's from 1 to 5. You could go to waynechandler.eventbrite.com to get your ticket. I want to and thank you for RS. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. I want to ask you, Wayne. I named this one The Return of the Last Dragon, and we know about the movie and Bruce Leroy, and we also know about Bruce Lee. One of the things Bruce Lee was famous for saying that's shared on the internet a lot is to be like water. So I would love to get your interpretation of how we, fourth dimensional beings in this 3D construct, what does that mean to be like water for us, my brother?
yeah. I mean, water is I mean one of the main definitive elements that we can use to really escape this three-dimensional incarcerated situation that we find ourselves in. I mean, you look at the amount of water within the body, and most people say it's anywhere between 75 to 85%. But then again, you look at the organs that are focused and the systems that are focused on the